exciting planning right now for this show in September in the Utah desert. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. How are you feeling?
It's gonna be a good one.
We're gonna make a little maquette out of this to plan things. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so much fun. So in September of last year, my fiance and I had the amazing opportunity to participate in an art show that was going to be hosted in Utah. This vlog documents that entire process, from making the work to traveling, and then finally showing it in the Utah desert. Here's the plan. So we're gonna make this into Delano, can you help me actually? Can you film for me? We're gonna make this the size of the box. So the mirrors are gonna be this big, and then we're gonna cut up this bottom mirror to be the sides here. We might be able to make if we want the whole art piece to be bigger, we might make a bigger box to put this in. But yeah, this is what we're doing. So we just have to unscrew some things for now. Oh no, Genevieve.
What are you doing?
Genevieve, what are you doing? The person running the event wanted us to really think outside of the box. So we both tackled a project that was far from any work we had made in the past. This especially applies to me, who primarily makes 2D paintings and drawings. I should also mention this was a Christian event, and the theme of the event was the parallel biblical stories of the snake being raised in the wilderness in Old Testament Israelite history and the crucifixion of Jesus in the New Testament. We wanted to represent these symbols in a way that wouldn't be too on the nose, so we settled on creating a mirror box, a seemingly infinite space enclosed within a finite space. We felt this represented the two symbols well, both of which appear static, finite, and even dead on the outside, yet represent life in deep and meaningful ways. Woo! As I mentioned, this type of project was super new to both of us. Delano's prior experience with woodworking helped, but working with mirrors was completely new to us, and wow, what a trip that was. We had so many problems come up along the way, but honestly, I didn't really film any of them because I was way more focused on just finishing the project, because here's the other thing. We only got to begin seriously working on this piece 2 weeks before we had to ship it and then leave ourselves. And you can imagine how stressful it was to have problems come up, especially when those problems involved mirrors breaking at pivotal moments, which happened at least once and maybe twice. Now we've arrived to the fun part. We're carving styrofoam for the interior of the mirror box, and it is so fun, partially because it's so easy and we really needed a break from the annoying mirror stuff.
Glue these to the ground and then have holes that they fit into so we can take them off and on.
I just want to show you the camera. I deleted everything off of it because now it's on my laptop. But it has the zoom.
Oh, like a digital zoom?
Yeah. Our favorite part by far was creating the model that would go inside the mirror box to become the unending landscape. For this, we used styrofoam to create the basic shapes and structure, and then this papier-mâché mix called celluclay to fill in all the gaps and just smooth everything out. Next, we painted the model. Our last step in finishing the model was to add grass through flocking, which uses static electricity to attach the small pieces to a surface after we sprayed the surface with some adhesive.
Oh, that's too cool. Ah!
Clearly, we were enamored by this.
Need to restart.
Oh my gosh, the lighter version looks so cool.
Yeah. Combining the two? Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Do it kind of lightly. Finishing the model was truly rewarding. We had a lot of help from a generous local artist that provided us with the celluclay and flocking materials after suggesting that we use those methods. Let's pour. Ah! Make sure not to get on the edges. Please be careful. Please be careful. It's coming out very fast. Okay. Bring it back up a little bit.
Subtle. Yeah. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, it's perfect. That's so sick.
So proud of us, Delino. Look at what we did. We made a little diorama.
It's so cool.
It looks so cool. The epoxy's drying. We just put it in. We have a little cool little makeshift way to keep it from pouring out. On that side too. But it looks so freaking cool. So proud of us. High five. Next, it was time to create our light source. All right, turn on the light. We used little fairy lights and covered them with cotton ball clouds. It's not like the magical effect
Yeah.
I was imagining, but it's still good.
All right.
Needs to be cut more. So we are creative problem solving. We put our landscape into the box, and of course, you know, lots of room for human error. It doesn't like perfectly line up with the mirror. There's a lot of styrofoam being seen. So we're going to be painting the edges of the styrofoam probably, but we also decided to just put a bunch of foliage around the area, like around the perimeter, so that is what reflects and not the styrofoam, the deep gullies of styrofoam. So, yay. It looks good from the side, yeah. Honestly, we can let people view it from wherever, I feel like, if we get it set up the right way.
We're gonna have to establish a flashlight point
Yeah.
so they can't move it. So we're gonna have one side that they can't look through.
And just like that, you know, after weeks of frustration and problem solving and little victories and lessons learned along the way, the piece was finished. We wrapped up the package today, and when I tell you we wrapped it up, like, this took hours. We are not letting this glass break if it is the last thing we do. So we're about to take it to UPS and ship it off, and then it's out of our hands. We just shipped off our package. How do you feel?
I'm tired. It was a long project. There was a lot of things that we had to solve on the moment, in the spot, in the speed and the fastness of it. It was crazy, insane.
Celebratory ice cream. And now, with our artwork already in Utah, it was time for us to meet it there. Cue the traveling montage. We arrived with the rest of the leaders and artists at a place several hours away from the campsite. We still had to create a stand for our piece to sit on, so we found some scraps to create at a local restore and packed it up to take with us to the campsite. It took a while to get there, but it was a beautiful drive. We arrived at midnight, so I didn't have a clue what the landscape looked like until I stepped out of my tent to this breathtaking view the next morning.
We really are in like a little valley. So, yeah, if you really want to.
For the next couple of days, Delano and I had to sort of split ways because I was asked right before traveling if I could play clarinet with the orchestra that would perform on the night of the art show. So I had to go with the orchestra into the nearest town to practice all day on Thursday and then nearly all day on Friday until it was time for the show. I was happy to drive to and from town on those days because I got to see more of the beautiful Utah landscape.
That's so pretty. People are so cool.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. This one, it'll be purple or red.
Yeah, I'm
And
seeing
then,
that.
so on the third one, it'll be like the first one again.
Wow, that's so unique.
Oh!
So it's Friday, day 2 of being at the camp, day 3 of being in Utah. It's been a good experience so far, but also a stressful one. There's been some confusion, we almost thought we lost our art piece. We found it, so it's okay. And also just like being around so many people is a beautiful thing, but it's socially exhausting, obviously. So anyways, it's Friday, and tonight is the art show and also the music show.
Finally, the evening of the art show arrived. We had the arduous task of unpackaging our extremely carefully wrapped art piece and putting it all back together.
Our mirrors are safe. No mirrors broken.
Until now.
The event began with an open gallery viewing time, and we stood next to our art piece to interact with the people that came by. The guy who organized the trip and brought us on board came by and saw our piece. He was very busy, so he had to come in at the very last minute, but we're really grateful he made time to come see it, and he was very impressed with it and gave us lots of words of praise, which we were thankful for, since he is the reason we created it. The evening ended with an orchestra performance, which, as I mentioned before, I was a part of. As I mentioned before, we only had 2 days of practicing and not even 2 full days. So to get all this music together and be able to play it at least semi-decently for a crowd of people was a feat. And honestly, I think it went pretty well considering the practice time we had, so I'm proud of it. With the art show behind us, we had one more full day in Utah, and this day was dedicated to enjoying the landscape even more by going on various hikes around the area. Delano and I chose the group that was going to hike up to Castle Rock. And let me tell you, we did not know what we were getting into. This was a very, very challenging hike. I do enjoy hiking and being active and even rock climbing, but like rock climbing in a gym. So I had been sort of exposed to this type of stuff before, but not in a while, and not to this difficulty level. First of all, we made what was going to be a 2 or 3 mile hike into a 7 mile hike because we understood the directions wrong and ended up first trying to hike up a couple different places before finding out that it was impossible to get where we were going from those places.
Maybe we could go back to the I feel like that's
we're exercising more. It's good.
It looks like that.
it's not hard.
It looks like there is a hike, like quite a bit further out that kind of goes around.
Can't tell it could be one or two. So this for sure has tracks in it.
So once we finally found the place that we actually could hike up, we stopped for lunch to take a quick little break, and then we went for it. Delano made it up halfway, and honestly he did really, really good this day because he does have POTS, and it makes physical activity, especially in the heat like it was on that day, it was very hot, it makes physical activity difficult for him. So he was a trooper for the first like miles and miles and miles of our hike, but halfway up to Castle Rock he decided to go back down, and then I continued up with the group. The second half of this hike, guys, this was really, really tough. I had to sit down so much. There was so much rock scrambling involved, hoisting yourself up, and just really steep inclines going back and forth as you made it higher and higher. I took so many breaks. I literally was forced to sit down so many times because I could not physically make myself go anymore. I was breathing so heavily. My legs were feeling like they were about to give out. There was a guy that was one of the leaders that was kind enough to stay with me the entire time, anytime I needed to take a break. After a very, very long time, I made it up as far as I was willing to go, because to make it further, it got a lot more scary. Little bits of gravel that was on like a downward slope, and I was afraid that I was just gonna slip and fall to my death, which is something that I typically try to avoid. So I decided to sit there at the base of Castle Rock. I will point to where I made it.
Made it to the top. I don't know how I did this, and I don't know how I'm gonna get down, but I did it. I can't actually see the rock from here because that's in the way. I was definitely at my limit of exertion and endurance, but I'm proud of myself that I made it. I'm a little scared. I think I might have a fear of heights. I never thought I did, but now I'm thinking I might. Still have to go down, but I'm waiting for my group to be ready to go. But anyways, it's a pretty incredible view.
I am proud for what I accomplished. I think there's a line between persevering and also knowing what your limits are, and I felt like I hit my limit. Truly, this was just the best way to wrap up the entire experience. A big challenge that we didn't totally know how we were gonna make it to the end, like it felt at certain points during the actual making of our art piece, but we did make it, and we proved to ourselves that we could do hard things and meet hard deadlines. And yeah, I am proud of both Delano and I all the way around. I hope you guys enjoyed that vlog. With that vlog being checked off of my to-do list, that means I am finally completely caught up from all my videos last year, which is a very freeing feeling. We got lots of cool stuff coming up this year, like multiple trips I'm going to be going on, and like a wedding or something. I'm not vlogging as much as I used to do. I'm not vlogging like regularly, weekly, but yeah, we're trying to figure out a new way of doing things, and I definitely still plan on posting, making lots of art. I'm doing some transitioning in my art practice. You can see a little bit of that in my last vlog, which documented my art residency, and I still regularly post on Instagram and also TikTok, and Facebook for those of you who do use Facebook. So if you would like to keep up with me on more of a regular basis, you can go check out those accounts. But yeah, with that being said, I will be back with another video sometime soon, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.